Thank you very much, Rashid. Very nice meeting all of you. Hi, Chiara. Just propose to make a quick introduction about this session and talking about this AR Pro visual support. Before starting, so Emmanuel Lapierre, so I'm in charge of SightCall for international business, managing entities in France, UK, Germany, and Asia. And what I would like to first mention is I did watch your session yesterday evening, Rashid, and pay much attention to it. So that was very interesting to hear you and your panelists and mention how the COVID has impacted your industry. So obviously, COVID did not only impact food and beverage industry, it did impact all industries. So what we've seen is incredible challenge that everybody has been facing. Just imagine, and maybe just moving to the next slide, what we've seen is every company switching to remote. So this was like maybe your company had 15, 20% of people working remotely, but overnight you switched to 85% of your employees switching remotely. And according to studies from Gartner, this shift will remain. This will be a long trend. So what you've experienced is a big change in your work life, in your personal life, impacting all aspects of your life roughly. And quoting Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, what we've seen this year is 2 years of worth of digital transformation taking place in 2 months. So that is like a fourth revolution that is happening. So we used to mention about future being remote. So we're talking now really about a new normal. So this new normal is everybody using Teams, everybody is using Zoom, WhatsApp with family. So plenty of tools being available to everybody using with family, we're using with colleagues and with partners. So what we've done at SightCall is we're providing also remote visual support to help you and maintain your equipment, maintain your virtual inspection, so you can continue and work during this new normal. So moving to the next one, just playing a quick video so you can see what is remote visual assistance and how it can help you on your day-to-day business.
And enable technology that can improve the way healthcare is delivered to patients globally. We are always looking for innovative ways to improve our service and overall customer experience. SightCall helps us deliver on this mission by empowering our service experts to provide real-time visual assistance to remote technicians in the field. Ensuring maximum uptime for our medical equipment through fast, accurate, and professional support means that GE Healthcare customers can focus more on patient outcomes and improving lives in moments that matter.
My name is Jaco Bierman. I'm a head of service operations for ASEAN GE Healthcare. Our field teams work on extremely sophisticated and advanced medical equipment on a day-by-day basis. By using SightCall, we ensure that our field teams partner directly with our technical experts, and by making sure that they are part of the repair and troubleshooting process every step of the way. With SightCall, we can virtually place a technical expert next to a field engineer on a site by using the interactive video and augmented reality features of these applications.
With SightCall, our field technicians can get the answers they need when they need them, helping them reduce average repair times and increase resolution rates.
Our teams also find this tool very user-friendly, which is really important for us, and it was a big consideration for us when we evaluated certain support tools for the region, as ease of implementation and adaptability is obviously crucial success factors. We also tested the tool under low bandwidth conditions. Sometimes we experience on a day-by-day basis in our region. The tool was stable and easy accessible through all of these tests. The scalability of the tool was also a very important consideration for us.
The partnership that we have developed with SightCall revolutionizes the way that we are able to support GE Healthcare customers in the field. By reducing medical device downtime, we are helping healthcare providers spend more time on the diagnosis, treatment, and monitoring of their patients.
Okay, so this is just to give you an idea about remote video assistance. So this is a technology that has been in the market now for 10 years, and we support plenty of companies all around the world in whatever vertical. So you can imagine how critical it is to maintain medical equipment, especially when you can travel. This is extremely critical. So not talking about all those verticals, but now really focusing on what's of interest to all of you, that is a food and beverage industry. So just shifting to the Kraft Heinz experience. So Chiara, would you please start maybe with a brief description of Kraft Heinz? Many people will know, but your role and responsibilities at Kraft Heinz.
Yeah, sure. So, hi, Manuel, and good morning, everybody. I'm pleased to be present here at the 10th edition of the European Food Cheer Summit. My name is Chiara Frosin, and I work for Kraft Heinz, which is one of the largest global food and beverage companies, with a net sales of last year of approximately $25 billion. Our portfolio is a mix of both iconic and emerging brands, and we are active in more than 40 countries with approximately 38,000 employees around the world. We are aiming at creating an agile and consumer-driven culture, and this is also the reason why we're going through a process of company's transformation, which includes a new operating model as well as a new vision and new values. Our new vision is to sustainably grow by delighting consumers globally. And as I was just mentioning, this is embraced by our 6 new values. Moving to my role and responsibilities, I am the Global Food Safety and Quality Data Analyst. So I'm covering the supply chain part, which means suppliers, co-packers, reworkers, warehousing, and licensees. In short, I support the approval and continued management of complaints in supply chain into Kraft Heinz global manufacturing operations. And I work closely with the regional and local co-pack and suppliers teams to coordinate and deliver improvements, including customer complaints and issue prevention. During this very particular year, one of the projects that I've been leading was the implementation of the virtual auditing system within the company. It has been challenging because what we do is, of course, we normally visit our partners in person, and we've been always doing so. So, for instance, conducting full audits or incident investigation, and basically with the travel restrictions in place, we were not allowed to visit them in person anymore. But in order to keep business continuity, we knew we had to act quickly, and that's where SightCall comes in.
Thanks, Chiara. So I've watched also the first session this morning, and was much question around innovation. So what role does digital transformation play, I would say, in your day-to-day operations today in co-packing and global supply chain environment?
Yeah, so I think that there are several benefits to leverage remote audits or immersive audits, as we learned yesterday from our colleague Richard from BSI. But I would like to mention 3 major points, which are, of course, linked to each other and are increased agility, the reduced carbon footprint, and cost and time savings. So in the situation that we are currently living nowadays, the visits to virtual visits to the sites are more sustainable, and that is obtained, of course, by reducing the consumption associated with travel, of course. And the fact that we are keeping business continuity by allowing the auditors to complete the virtual inspections of both suppliers and co-packers, it's something that potentially can increase the number of audits completed in the same time frame if we compare to the ones that are conducted in person. However, on the other hand, we need to point out that the pre-planning and the preparation, but also the training of the person on site is something new, and it's something that takes time as well. So we can say that the time that we normally spend traveling is deployed and dedicated to these new activities. But for sure, we are improving effectiveness and efficiency for troubleshooting issues that we are having in the factories, for instance, but also for follow-ups. And I think that this is something that we can all agree on.
So today you're a very large company. You have facilities all around the world. So once the pandemic started earlier this year, I guess you've been facing plenty of challenges, probably around protecting your employees, around safety. How did you first react?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think what we learned from the pandemic is to adapt, but also react quickly in a proactive way. And this is something that we, of course, were doing before, but there was the need to do it even stronger. So during this year, as you mentioned, for sure, there have been many challenges.
Okay, I will support a little bit in here, Emmanuel, if that's okay for you. Okay, I can jump in to see what the problem is with. So, so the question was, how did you deploy that, and how did you act? So Chiara mentioned the words adapt. So we did adapt, we did understand, and we reviewed what we wanted to do, and then we acted at that time. We did that, and you have to understand, and we talked about that also yesterday. It was a great presentation by Richard Warren from BSI. It is, you know, first when it happens to you, but the projects at the other side in a company will continue. Any new innovations, any new production will continue, because you need to identify new external manufacturing, new suppliers, that kind of stuff. So we had to act, as Chiara said, and I will hand over in 5 seconds. And we tried to plan and do the right thing to keep the continuity. Business continuity was important at that moment. Is that correct, Chiara?
Yeah, just building on what you were saying, business continuity was key. And yeah, we experienced several challenges, but probably that happened more than ever. But what we've always thought was that this opportunity was something new for growth and a long-term opportunity. So not only something that we had to deal with on a short period of time.
Thanks, Chiara. So once this happens, how did you hear about SightCall? Because this is not a very well-known company today, so it's a global leader. But how did you hear about us?
Yeah, so back at the beginning of 2020, when the virus started spreading in several countries and the travel restrictions were in place, we started brainstorming sessions and networking, but also researching to understand what were the best option on the table to adopt, basically, without stopping the auditing process. And in a very short term, we were using other apps that we had available. But basically, through our network of contacts, we got in touch, amongst other, with you guys, the SightCall team. So we started running some tests. And I remember the first one was back in April, where we did carry out a couple of sessions where I am based in Nijmegen at the Heinz Innovation Center in the Netherlands. We had some pilots in our pilot plant, so a very similar environment to what production looks like. And several people joined from different zones of the world, and the feedback has always been very positive. So we started our partnership there.
And how exactly do you use SightCall at Kraft Heinz today?
Yeah, so within our team, we are currently deploying SightCall to visit our partners and specifically suppliers and co-packers. And what we do is we get in contact with them before the audit, and we explain how the whole process is going to look like, and what they have to do basically to start the session, so that there's going to be an agent from our side and another person on site in the factory. What we experienced is that the new type of auditing is great for ongoing quality improvement meetings, for instance. But what is even more important for us is that we have the option to have multidisciplinary calls. So to have several peoples in a session, and what it's something that we were not doing before. So nowadays, basically, we can have up to 8 people in the call, and we can ask feedback, but also help to our colleagues that are around the world, basically. So in general, I would say we use it for factory tours, but also document review. And something that is new is that we split the sessions in, for instance, 2 days, and we have, for instance, 3-hour session each day.
Okay, so maybe 2 questions in one is what key benefits do you see using it, and how you are measuring the success of remote visual support?
Yeah, so SightCall is for sure providing us global support and more flexibility, accommodating the audits in the event, for instance, they are postponed or need to be moved. We also experienced greater agility to display the documentation. And what I mean by that is that we are now able to review the relevant documents in advance and shorten the audit time. Another advantage is the sharing of electronic information that we can save as physical backups. But in general, we also saw that the people we go audit are more accommodating in allowing the auditors to capture photographic evidence. But they are also more accommodating because of the security and compliance that SightCall designed, that was agile enough to capture this requirement that is key for us, of course. And also SightCall, I think, has superior features that are available and we use almost on a daily basis, such as the WebRTC option, or the ability to take notes on pictures, or the ability to chat with the team members that you're basically in with the call, or the remote flashlight. So if you're visiting a suppliers or co-packers and they are showing a dark area, we have the ability to turn on the flashlight. What we can also do is take pictures or screenshot and pause or keep the live video stream. And something that is also helping is the monitoring dashboard that we have for keeping track of the numbers of call that are taking place and the duration of the call, as well as the zones from which a person is calling, for instance. And regarding the second part of the question, so the success, I think it's a great question, but it's something that we are looking to take into account going forward as well. So how to measure success. I believe that the food manufacturing industry is still a particular case and a new case with regards to virtual auditing. So we are still in a kind of transition period regarding virtual auditing. So it's a new process that for sure the pandemic accelerated. So we all need to try it out and better understand what are the best practices around it to be able to measure its success as well. But for instance, a key success metric could consider the percentage of inspections successfully carried out with the software at our co-packers or suppliers, or something that we could take into account are the sustainability parameters, so the time that we are saving in travels as well as the kilometers as well.
Thanks, Chiara. So we can see that digital transformation can be very complex. Very often what we are struggling with, or you are struggling with, is change management, is how to get your employees, your customer to adopt this kind of solution. So COVID has definitely been an accelerator for change, but how did your employees react to the implementation of remote visual support? How did you make this a successful rollout?
Yeah, so let's start saying that changing habits, and in this case, ways of working, is not easy. And I also think that it's not easy convincing people that this change is needed sometimes. So even if we are constantly saying that virtual audit is not going to replace the physical ones, I think people at the beginning might have got a bit scared of this big change. And the first reaction to the implementation is not being extremely easy. But I think that might have been also linked to the fact that at the very beginning, people might have thought that we were going through a temporary situation, which now we all know that's not the case. So once the tool has been implemented, we soon got very positive feedback from everybody. And the easiness of use was for sure key. I remember I was impressed myself when I first ran the app on my mobile phone. And basically, you just need to download the app, and then you can start a session. So even the features are really intuitive, and I think this is something really key. And yeah, to roll it out to the team, we had the 3 training session, and we are constantly monitoring and receiving feedback from them, and working with you, of course, to make the changes we need, and to implement the tool and tailor it as we want it to have, based on our needs, basically.
And so we always talk about innovation and the impact on companies. Can you just elaborate about what has been the impact on productivity at Kraft Heinz? Because maybe this was not expected beforehand, but was there an impact on productivity using remote visual assistance?
Yeah, so we all know that the in-person inspection take time, and the logistic behind the organization of the audit can be tiring. So this whole part is now being eliminated, basically, so we can be more focused on the job we have to do itself. So having SightCall in place really improved our productivity. And as we were mentioning before, the potentially also the amount of factory inspections and follow-up issues that we're able to carry out in the same amount of time if we compare it to the physical ones. So yeah, I think we already touched upon this part, but for sure the number of audits that we conduct is higher to the physical ones.
Thank you. So just a last question, as I related to the slide that you all have in front of you. You're using it today for remote auditing. Do you think about other use cases where visual support, remote visual support could help you, whether about training, maintenance, or do you have any other use case in mind at Kraft Heinz you could share with the rest of the audience?
Yeah, so there are for sure many opportunities to be explored, and I think here the point that I want to make is thanks to the strong partnership that we establish. We are continuously asking and receiving feedback from our team members who are deploying SightCall, and something that we are looking for next years to have is for sure other use cases more tailored to the experience that we basically had in during these months. But more than specifically use cases, what I'm thinking about is the implementation, for instance, of wearables or HoloLens, which are going to make a difference from a safety perspective as well when we go into factories, because you know in some areas it's you need to watch out, so it's not very convenient to work with a camera on your hand. You just cannot do that. So in this, for sure, the HoloLens, for instance, can become very, very handy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, so it should obviously get integrated in HoloLens, readwear, music, glasses. So that's definitely something we do. Just maybe to move just to the next slide, just to share that this really applied to plenty of industries. So Costa, they have 9,000 machines to support, and this is another use case where they provide support to all their dealers using this kind of solution. So that's just another use case that is possible, and obviously plenty of benefits. Next one. This is also how what your customers are facing is not only not making savings, not dispatching a technician, but it's much also about the uptime. So how quickly you can fix something for your customer. So just to give you other examples. So Rashid, thank you very much, Chiara.